Hey guys, it's time for a new episode of obscure, well, sort of obscure toy lines from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And we're up to episode 17. 17? Man, thank you so much. You guys, the people that watch this show every other week, are what make it possible. Thank you so much, guys. Keep those recommendations coming. So this week we're going to start off with Dr. Dreadful. So Dr. Dreadful started with Tyco in 1994, but in 2015, You Imagine took over the brand, and they've been selling Dr. Dreadful zombies and aliens, I believe. So as a kid, I always compared this to the Easy Bake Oven, saying that this was the boy version. You had the drink lab and the food lab. You'd get all the mixes, and you could make gross food, zombie brains, different kind of gelatins, bubbling drinks. All this stuff was included in the box, and then you could buy refill packs. It has come back. Here's the newest commercial, and the plan is, like, it's still on sale. I've seen this in the Canadian Toys R Us, and like I mentioned, You Imagine is doing it now. But as a child, I always thought that this was really cool. It was fun, you know, for a few times, and then everything gets dirty and you run out of the mixes and you kind of push it on the wayside. But this was definitely cool. You play with this and your creepy crawlers and your Terminator Bioflesh. Hot Wheels Streaks from 1991. This one was actually pretty tough to pull up any information. Like, I'm surprised that there wasn't a lot more. I remember the catchphrase being, "How fast can you go without wheels?" The cars had square plastic holes in the back where you would insert the square plastic male end of the launcher. The launcher would be an air cushion. You would pound your fist down and launch your racer. Again, they just had a flat, smooth plastic bottom. They looked a lot like hovercrafts, very reminiscent of an F-Zero racer. In fact, if you remember that game and you're watching this channel, I'm guessing that you put those two together already. The toy line only lasted about 20 months, but it still proved popular enough to warrant its inclusion with McDonald Happy Meals. A few playsets were also made and available during its run, which you could build your own style track with some jumps. And speaking of McDonald's Happy Meals, we're going to take a look at the McRobots, or the McChangeables, the Changeables. You know, I can't really pinpoint the name of them, but they were 1987 to 1990. So we got 3 waves of these, and I thought these were pretty cool and highly collectible Happy Meal toys. One of the coolest selling points of the series that I wanted to mention is that the Happy Meal box also transformed. These are obviously very similar to Transformers and GoBots. All the figures were based off of items that were on the restaurant's menu. Some more complex in transformation than others. Their story was basically that they came from their home planet, Changeables, to battle the Munchies. Personally, I'd love to see more of these in my collection, although I am happy to say that I still have my original Milkshake Changeable. The McChangeables were the first and might be one of the only Happy Meal toys that actually made your Happy Meal cost more. In some parts of the country, Canada and the US, you'd have to pay 55 to 75 cents more for Happy Meal. The Heinz H57 Burger Blaster, 1986. Okay, so this was a tough toy to find a lot of information about. I vaguely remember it, and when I saw a picture, I knew I wanted to mention it. Now, this is a transforming Heinz ketchup bottle that would change into a bomber plane. It was only available through mail order, although you can find replicas of it today if you want to do the research and spend the cash on it. It ran on a 9-volt battery to flash the rear lights, and it also came with stickers for both the ketchup bottle and the bomber. For any toy fan or child of the 80s, this Heinz Burger Blaster is a great little novelty, and this would be a heck of a good conversational piece. Glowworms, Hasbro, 1982. Glowworms are stuffed toys for young children, designed by Hasbro for the Playskool division. The original toy was released with such success that Hasbro had to release a new musical Glowworm and a series of storybooks, nightlights, and videos, along with other merchandise to continue up until the early 1990s. Glowworms proved so successful that a second wave called the Glow Friends, made entirely of soft vinyl that glue in the dark, was made and released until 1989. There was a reboot of it, but in late 2005, the product was criticized for harming children because the plastic heads that were softened with phthalates were actually dangerous to children if swallowed. Game Genie by Codemasters, 1990. Now I know some people are going to say this isn't a toy, and my rebuttal would be, it's not really that obscure either. No, I just really wanted to mention the Game Genie somewhere. So the Game Genie is a line of video game cheat cartridges that was designed by Codemaster and sold by Camerica and Galoob. It was originally released for the NES, but subsequent devices came out for the Super Nintendo, Game Boy, Genesis, and Game Gear. All the devices temporarily modified game data. You manipulated various aspects of the game, and sometimes you could access unused assets and functions. Did you know that there was 5 million units of the original Game Genie product sold worldwide? There's more Game Genies out there than a quarter of the NES licensed games. That's crazy if you think about it. Anyway guys, that's gonna do it for another obscure, well, sort of obscure toy lines from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. As always guys, thank you so much for watching, and if I missed something or you want to see something, please put it down in the comments below. Take care guys.